Hey guys, FLHDCUI 2000 here. This is just going to be off the cuff video, kind of a gun gripes, I guess, about gun stores. There are good ones and there are okay ones, knowledgeable ones, and just people working there, that have not much knowledge about the actual product. Uh, find that at places like, Cabela's and Bass Pro and just people working behind the counter. Now some of them, don't get me wrong, some of them are pretty knowledgeable, but for the most part, they're just filling a hole where they need a body, and that's okay, I guess. Uh, I live in a small town in Arkansas, Harrison, Arkansas. For Arkansas, it's a decent sized town. Um, we don't have a lot of gun stores. We've got the Armory, LLC Armory, uh, Jack Holt, who's been around for generations, it seems like decades. I bought my first gun from Jack Holt back in 1972. Um, so that tells you how long they've been around. Holt's have been out there forever. And Jack's a cool guy. He's got some great stories. In the wintertime, you go in there, he's got a big fireplace right there by the front door. Everybody kind of sits down there and they just kind of sound laid back. I think Jack's about 84 now, and he can still shoot. And he goes hunting and he walks them hills and he does it better than me, maybe. Uh, nice guy. I don't think he does a lot with the guns as much as he used to. Kind of a semi-retired, enjoying life, and that's great too. He's got some old World War II and other surplus guns hung all around the ceiling up through there. Some of his shooting stuff he did while he was in the army. He was an expert marksman and then some. He was on the army shooting team or something like that. I understand he wields a pretty mean 45. Even at his age now, he shoots probably better than the average person that's a good shot. He's probably better than the average. So I like Jack. I would go by and visit him about once or twice a year and just say hi. I don't think he knows who I am really or anything like that, but he's a nice guy. Uh, knows a lot of people, and stuff like that. So I'm just another one that goes by to say hi every once in a while. Uh, I guess the one with the most selection is the Ace Hardware here in Harrison. They've got a Tony and his guys there. I think Jared is, and a couple others that work behind the counter there. They have a good selection of pistols and rifles and shotguns and stuff like that, and they trade pretty decent. I just bought my little my Ruger LC9 off of them, the Ruger LC9, and do I dare do it with Crimson Trace Laser? I gotta say that it's like my grandson's cartoon I mentioned in one of my other videos. The Crimson Trace Laser. It's kind of cool. You know, it's uh, it's a neat little gun. I like it. I shot it. Trigger pull's real long on it, but there's ways to fix that. So I just traded for that. They gave me a decent trade. Always friendly. I mean, every time I've gone in there, and they're always busy, and I can understand why because they're about the only one that has a decent stock of anything in town. But they're always friendly. Always take time, to say hi. How you doing? Can I help you with something? Uh, the way people should be that are in a business trying to sell a product. Other gun stores I've gone to around Arkansas and Missouri. I lived in Kansas City, Missouri area for 38 years, so I've been to a few gun stores up there. There were good ones, there were bad ones. There were guys that were friendly and knowledgeable, and some that were cocky, knowledgeable, and semi-friendly. I can handle that. And some that just tick me off. I mean, you walk in the door and if they don't even look up from the counter or the magazine or scratch your tickets to say hi to you, which is fine. I mean, if that's the way they want to be, they're not going to sell much doing that. Um, I've been into Oh, the one here, the armory one here up by the Shell station in Harrison, about 3 times, 4 times. I walked in once and it was so crowded I just turned around and left. I don't like crowded. It's a real small place and I don't like crowded stores where you can't hardly walk through. Uh, but I've been up there once before and kind of asked some questions, and the guy was kind of cocky behind the counter, and his answers were short and sweet and to the point, which I guess was all right. I don't like it that way. Uh, I looked around. I was looking for some ammo, and they didn't really have what I was looking for, so I left. And I went back one other time and just kind of looking for a holster for a gun, and kind of looked around. They didn't have a large selection. They did have some, but not on Glock 19 holster, and they didn't have them at the time. I'm sure they've had them in the past, but they didn't have them this day. Next time I went in there, the grandson grandson he likes to watch Pawn Stars, and he wanted to go to some pawn stores. So I took him to a couple of pawn shops here in Harrison, and he enjoyed it. Then I went by there to the LLC Armory, and there was a guy behind there, and again he was scratching off lottery tickets or something, trying to win $50,000, whatever the case may be. There's a couple of other guys in there at the time, and I was looking around, and when you walk through the front door, they had one of the little Ruger sporterized 1022s that cut down to a pistol. There's a name, I don't remember what the name is, with a scope on it. Of course, grandson thought, oh, well, that's cool, and he started holding it up and not picking it up off the counter, but just looking through the scope and stuff like that. And I could tell it irritated the guy there, and I'm like, well, why do you got it out here on the front counter if you don't want nobody messing with it? So I found out later it's just he didn't like my grandson messing with it. So we looked around a little bit and some stuff, and I found a holster that I was kind of looking for and thought about buying. And everybody left, and it's just me, him, and the grandson there. And the grandson, I think he had like oh, a large pistol, and I don't remember what kind it was. Quite large. Maybe a 454 Casal or something like that. But on the bottom shelf, on the last counter where he was sitting by the cash register or whatever, and I kind of looked at it. My grandson said, "Wow, Papa, that's a cool gun." I'm like, "Yeah, it is. Very nice." I said, "You want to make a kid's day? Let me show him that gun." And he says, "He ain't supposed to be touching any of the guns in here. He ain't old enough." And boy, it just ticked me off. I mean, he could probably see my face turn red. And we left. That's the last time I'll probably ever go in there. Uh, there's no sense. I mean, you're selling a product to the public and a customer. Why do you want to talk to them that way? Why do you want to act as, I didn't buy anything from him, but, in the last year, I have bought two high powered rifles, two 9mm pistols. Um, they didn't get my business, and I wouldn't even consider them. If I was looking for a gun and they had the only one in town and I was wanting to buy it, I wouldn't buy it from them for that simple reason. I don't know why. I run into that quite often. Um, there's another gun store in Mountain Home, actually, where I bought my Glock 19, and the Ace didn't have any at the time, and it was kind of like a birthday gift type thing. So I wanted to get it, and they were super friendly. They let my grandson handle any gun I wanted to. They had to give it to me, and I let him hold it while I was making sure he didn't drop it because Papa didn't want to buy a gun, other than the one I was looking at the time. And they were great about it. Now the guy that waited on me originally was, you could tell he was like an ex-Marine type guy. He's real short and wasn't real super friendly. His mind was on something else. I told him I was going in there for look for either the Glock 19 or the Glock 26, one of those two I wanted to buy. And he immediately said, "Oh, everybody wants the Glock. I don't like Glocks." I'm thinking to myself, "Partner, I just told you those are the two I'm wanting to buy, and I will buy one of them." Why? And he took me over to another gun. I think it was the Smith and Wesson Sigma or something like that. And I said, "I can sell you this, the same basic gun, shoots just as good for $100 less, and stuff like that," which is fine. I liked it. It was a nice gun, but it wasn't what I was looking for. Uh, Somebody else came in the store and he started waiting on them, and then the guy came up to me. He was helping out because the owner was out of town. With He'd come up with bib overalls. He said, "Well, I'm helping out here a little bit. I'll show you whatever you want." And he let me compare the two guns and stuff like that. And he showed me the holsters, and I ended up spending about over 600 and something dollars, close to probably $700 before I walked out of that store that day, because that guy was so friendly and nice. Now the other guy had to write it up for me, and again, as he wrote it up, he made little cocky comments about the farm and stuff like this, and he doesn't, and that's fine. I agreed with some of those comments, but why are so many gun stores that way and people that run gun stores that way? I mean, it would be one thing if I ran into it once in a while, but maybe it's because they didn't, I'm not a regular customer or whatever. It doesn't matter who you are. You never know what a guy's going to spend. I walk into a gun store looking for a gun to buy. I plan on buying that gun, and if you talk bad to me, I'll leave and I'll buy it somewhere else. I'll pay more money for it somewhere else if you don't, because I just don't take rude anymore. It's not that way. I don't live my life that way. I try not to be rude to people, and I don't like it when other people do it to me. But it seems to be like a rash of it anymore. I've been to 4 or 5 different gun stores in the last few years, and I'd say 3 out of 5 of them had people working there like that. Owners of these gun stores, you need to get rid of them people because they're hurting your business. I mean, maybe they aren't. I don't know. But to me, I did sales. I sold amateur radio equipment for about 7 or 8 years, uh, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking to people, selling to people. It's also my hobby, amateur radio. And like most people that work in gun stores, shoot guns. It's a hobby, and I make a living at it. And I enjoyed it. I like being friendly with people, but the cocky, uh, you don't know what you're wanting attitude. Uh, I know more than you, or that's a stupid question. There are no stupid questions or stupid answers to stupid questions. Uh, or, when my grandson wants to look at a gun and I'm his grandfather, or even if I was his dad, that kid will be buying guns someday. I'll guarantee you. And he'll remember the experience also that he didn't get to see that gun. He was 9 years old. He's 10 now, but at that time he'll remember that. And it gave him a bad. It made me mad. I'll tell you that. I never said anything about it till now, and that's been a few months ago. It's back in August when this happened. It's wrong. Uh, it's not against the law for you to hand me the gun and me to let him look at it. How else are kids going to feel a gun or make sure it fits their hand or whatever? Now, obviously that gun wouldn't, but it was a thing that he just thought was cool at the time. It's like my big old Mosin Nagant. It's a huge rifle, long with the bayonet on it and stuff like that, and he likes it. I haven't let him shoot it yet, but he likes it. My other grandson, who's 15, has shot it. Anyway, just off the cuff type thing. I just came back from the gun store at Ace Hardware up there, Tony and those guys, and again went out of their way to be nice. A lady came in there, didn't know much about guns, and they're helping her out. Look, and things like that. Really friendly people. Now I don't deal with them a lot. I bought one gun from them. I just ordered extra magazine for my Ruger LC9 from them, and should be in a few days. But things like that make me come back. Now they're not the cheapest place. I could have mail ordered that magazine for less money, but by the time you pay shipping, I'm going to still get it for around the same, similar price. $2 or $3 off one way or the other. Uh, it's just I like places like that. Uh, Made me happy. I'm glad to see him. Jack Holt, same way. He's always friendly. Always got a story. You can sit there and talk to him all day long, and he can tell you stories about the good old days and stuff. I enjoy listening to those stories. not a spring chicken myself. I've been around a little over 6 decades myself. So peace. God is good to me and mine.